We'll start off as usual with our euro dollar. Yesterday we had a neutral candle here. Now we see that price has gone up. So we do have a bullish candle close, but please note that this is into resistance at the moment, but bias is bullish. So in this case, what I'm looking for is a bit of a drop here, a pullback, and then a further move to the upside. Now, if the price is not able to go through 1.1100, it can drop. But for now, looking for a bullish move here. Next target is 1.1120. So bias here is bullish for euro dollar. Pound dollar here, this was actually a volatile day for pound dollar. We did see a big move to the upside. Price tried to break out of the resistance here, but then we saw the negative poll results, and as a result of that, we have seen a drop here. So if we go back to or down to our hourly chart, we see that price dropped quite a bit here in the last 3 hours. And overall here, the momentum is a little bit to the downside here. So as we can see from our candle close here, price did try to go higher, but it wasn't able to maintain that strength, that momentum to the upside here. So right now it's trading sideways. So right now the momentum is a little bit it's contained within this range here. So if price holds above a 1.3100, so 1.3100, it's likely to go higher. On the other hand, though, if it does break through this 1.3100, we're likely to see a pullback back into the top of the range and then a potential move higher. So overall here, bias is to the downside. But again, if it does not hold below 1.3100, it can just turn around, it can just go sideways and then move on higher. So bias for now is bearish, but with extreme caution. Aussie dollar here, yesterday we were looking for a drop. We did get that drop here. Now we do have a bearish candle close, so looking for a further move to the downside. Now I am looking for a bit of a pullback here into 0.6820 and then looking for a further move to the downside. Now do keep in mind we have FOMC tomorrow, which can cause volatility in the market, but at the moment I'm looking for a drop here for Aussie dollar. The first target here is 0.6800, and if it goes through that, then we're looking at 0.6750. But bias here is bearish for Aussie dollar. New Zealand dollar here, this one we had a neutral candle close, but as we can see, price is still maintaining or holding below the previous high. So that still gives us that bearish bias here. So the bias is bearish here for New Zealand dollar here as well. So looking for it to drop further towards 0.6520. And if it doesn't break through to the downside, then we could see it go higher. But for now, bias is bearish. First target is 0.6520. And if it goes through that, we're looking at 0.6480. So bias is bearish here for New Zealand dollar. Dollar CAD here, this one is also looking bearish. Yesterday we were looking for a drop. So we do have that drop, but now, so we have a drop, but it hasn't broken through the support level. So it hasn't broken through the low of the day. So it's just an inside candle here. So in this case, overall, it's making a lower high. So bias is still to the downside. I would be a little bit cautious with this one. I'm looking for a pullback into 1.3250. And if it stays below, then I will look for a drop and a continuation. So bias here is to the downside, and first target here is 1.3220, and then if it breaks below that, 1.3190. So bearish bias for dollar CAD. Let's move on to our commodities now. So looking at silver here, silver has pushed up a little bit, but it's still stuck below this resistance here at 16.65. At this point, it is trying to go higher, and we kind of heard some positive comments in regards to US and China trade negotiations. There were comments saying that the tariffs that are supposed to come into play on December 15th may get pushed back here because of US and China negotiations still continuing. So if we keep getting those kind of comments, this one could drop. However, if we start to hear comments in regards to the tariffs still being on the table and coming into play, then that actually will be positive here for silver, and we could see it go higher. At this point, this one is neutral. It's still holding below our support resistance level, and if it doesn't break through, we could still get this continuation to the downside. So as long as it's holding below 16.65, it will remain bullish. Once it passes through this level, then we're looking for a move back into this range that it's been trading in, and we're looking for a move towards the top of the range potentially here. So for now, it is slowly making that progress. However, still stuck below the support resistance level, and as long as it stays below the support resistance level, the bias will remain to the downside. But today it's neutral because it's just on the cusp. So now we need to see which direction it wants to hold in. So if it breaks through today's high, I'm looking for a move higher towards 17.20. So for now, neutral bias for silver. Gold here, same thing for gold. Gold is stuck below the support resistance level. It did try to go higher, but it's still stuck below 1465 here. And as long as it stays below 1465, we're looking for a move lower here. It's still trading in this range that it's been trading in for some time now, so between 1482 to 1450 on the downside. And if we were to take this away, we see this price is trading in a range. So it's still range bound. So bias is neutral. So what I'm looking for here is a reaction between or around 1465 level. If it stays below, then looking for a move lower. However, if we see price break through this level, then looking for it to go higher into 1482. For now, this is range bound and bias is neutral for gold. We'll just have to see which direction it wants to go, and we'll trade accordingly. Oil here, oil still trading in this range. We have a completely neutral candle close today. We have a spinning top with pins on both sides and small candle body. At this point, what I'm looking for here would be if the price holds below today's high at 59.50, then I will look for a move lower into 58.20. And if it drops through that, we could see a further reaction and a move to the downside. So right now it is neutral, and I'm looking for a move towards 58.20 for oil. Copper here, we have a bullish candle close. It's right into resistance. We do need to be cautious, but bias is bullish. And once it goes to the high, looking for a further move to the upside. First target is 2.73 and then 2.75. So bias here is bullish for copper. Bitcoin here, yesterday we were looking for a drop. We got that drop. So today, again, we have a bearish candle close. So looking for price to drop further towards 68.35 level. So bearish bias for Bitcoin. S&P 500 here, this one has been interesting. If we go to an hourly chart, we see that we got a drop and then we saw this move higher when we got those comments in regards to the tariffs potentially getting pushed back. So if we hear more comments about tariffs not coming into play on December 15th, or them getting pushed back, or US and China trade negotiations continuing on, all of those comments will be positive for the market and we could see price go higher. However, the candle close for the day is neutral. We have pins on both sides. We do see that price is making lower highs here. So I would look for a move lower here into 3120 level back into the bottom of the pin. And if it holds below that level, then I'm looking for a continuation lower into 3090. But overall here, bias is neutral for S&P 500. Nasdaq here, same thing. We have a spinning top here, so neutral candle close for the day, so bias is neutral. Now looking for price to, this one could go in either direction, but it is again making lower highs, which means we could see a drop. So the first target here would be 82.90, and if it holds above 82.90, then we could see it go back into this range. So right now price has been trading basically in this range here. So I will look for a move lower, and if it holds above, this one could go higher. Now on the other hand though, should it break through the low, then I'm looking for a continuation lower. Second target would be 81.60. So bias here is neutral for Nasdaq and looking for a move lower into the bottom of today's trade here. Next one here, we have Dow Jones here. This one is also making a lower high. So the candle close today does seem a little bit bullish. However, I am looking for a retest of the low of the day towards 27,700. And if it holds above, we could see a move higher. But I would be very careful here and be mindful of the volatility as well as the comments that come out. So these days price really reacts to the comments, so just keep that in mind. And for the time here, bias is neutral, but looking for a drop towards 27,700. And then we have DAX here. We did see a drop. We were looking for a drop. It went right into the target here, but then it pulled back. But as long as it holds below 13,180, I'm still looking for a drop here. And so first target is 12,900. And if it moves below that, then we're looking for price to move lower into 12,780. So bias here is bearish for DAX. FTSE here, this one as well dropped quite a bit, went right into support and then pulled up. So right now, this one is neutral. What I would look for here would be potential move higher and then back into the support. So target is 71.30. Bias is neutral though. And as we get closer to our elections in the UK here, this one is likely to be volatile as well. So just keep that in mind. Last but not least, we have Nikkei. Nikkei has moved in both directions. As we can see from the 1 hour chart here, it dropped. And then on those positive comments, it went back up. And now it's dropping again. So for the day here, the bias is neutral. It's still trading in this range. So I'm looking for price to drop a bit further here. First target is 23,200. Then second target here is 23,000. So bias is neutral for Nikkei as well. All right, so that's it for the day. You guys have a wonderful trading day. Just be very careful. The margins requirements have increased. Check with your broker as to what their margin requirements are during this time. Most of the brokers will send out a note in your email saying that the margin requirements are higher due to increased volatility. So just keep that in mind. Maintaining the margin here is very, very important during this time. So that's it for today. Have a wonderful trading day, and I'll be back again tomorrow. Bye for now.